Oh, baby. The Detroit Lions have no business winning this game, and yet they found a way to beat the Chicago Bears. They have no business winning this game, and they found a way to beat the Chicago Bears. All I could think throughout the entirety of the game was, I hate the Bears. Why is this happening? I'm thinking about all my Chicago Bears friends. I'm thinking about our sports talk fantasy guy, Sean, who just refuses to admit that Justin Fields is not, he thinks he's a great quarterback. He refuses to admit anything other than Justin Fields is great, right? So I'm thinking about him. I'm thinking about my friend and boss, Cal, who's a huge Bears fan. And I'm just thinking about what my week is going to look like and how much my week is going to stink as Jared Goff's throwing 3 interceptions, as Craig Reynolds has a fumble on a kick return, how we had 4 turnovers and you don't win games like that, how we kept giving up third down after third down after third down after third down, and how we lost the time of possession. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm like, this is not going well. We are not going to win. This is not going well. And we found a way to win. And now I can go to work at the church and I can talk to friends and I can have a great time because guess what? We're good to go. All right. It's really that simple. So let me go ahead and let's just do a little look here at some of these things that I was talking about with all of you, some of the ways in which the Detroit Lions absolutely should not have won. And of course, it's going to switch over to this thing for no apparent reason. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's going like crazy, man. Anyways, I will get back to that. I'll get back to that. This is what happens when you go live. Weird things happen. Sitting here, and you know what? Here's what we got. I won't even worry about that so much. Let's just talk a little bit about some of the facts that I know. Time of possession, they over doubled us. Justin Fields did exactly what Justin Fields needed to do in order, wait for it, in order for us to not be able to stop him. Like the only way, and this is the thing about Justin Fields, the only way he at this point in his career, maybe forever, the only way Justin Fields is a good quarterback is when he is running the ball like crazy. And he ran the ball like 18 times, 19 times, something like that in this game. So that's the only way. But then he gets hurt and he can't stay healthy that way. So the Detroit Lions, that is exactly how you beat us. You have a running quarterback. It's really that simple. And that's exactly what they did. And they nickel and dimed us to death. They hit a deep shot. They seemingly did everything right. But somehow when you look up at the board, at the scoreboard, and you realize, Chris, hello.
Hey, keep going.
You realize that they didn't score over 30 when we gave up 4 turnovers, and we seemingly couldn't stop Justin Fields all day. I don't know. I've just been going on a 4-minute rant here, Chris, about how I don't understand how we won that game. Do you understand how we won that game?
No, the only thing that could have hurt us in this game, I felt like, was turnovers. And you looked at it was just a weird, and that's the NFL and that's football, and why it makes it so popular is because it just takes a couple tip balls, couple of this, couple of that. Next thing you know, we've 4 turnovers, and that was the great equalizer. And then they're ahead, and it seemed like they were constantly with the ball and getting 4 yards, 6 yards, and it just felt like we're just going to slowly bleed out here. And then
we're going to slowly bleed out.
Jared Goff. There's a few different things we could talk about, but yes, that was why it's like, oh, but isn't it crazy how the Bears expect to somehow lose, and now we have forever we're like that. We are now like, how can we find a way on this one? How can we find a way? How can we find a way? And then once you turn that corner just a little bit, the Bears were in the mindset that we've had many a time. how's this going to go south? And looky there, it does.
Looky loo, right? And I think my favorite, somebody, we got to find a picture of this somewhere, is just a sad Justin Fields on the sideline after all that happened. And we get the safety. And I'm just like, it's it, game over. It's a safety. But what an ugly game. Like, it was a beautiful, ugly game because the offense moved the ball outside of the 4 turnovers. Only 3 were committed by the offense, right? 1 was on a kick return. But the offense moved the ball. We ran the ball pretty effectively against the number 2 rush defense in the league. But at the same time, it was just brutal. It was absolutely brutal watching this game. I mean, like, I looked at the stats. They were only 5 of 13 on third down. I thought for sure they would have been 12 for 13.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
it seem like it?
And I went back and forth in my head about our defense during this entire game. Part of me was like, this, I just didn't like some of the things that we did. But I think now that I don't know if it's because we won or what, but
Yeah.
no, really, I really believe our defense played really well. They were constantly on the field. 4 times they were put back onto the field when they shouldn't have been out there. I mean,
Dude,
this game
40
could have just
minutes.
been blown wide open, but they stayed in there, really handled the run. No big runs by Justin Fields. He
Yep.
just, at the end of the day, still can't throw it. He had some guys open. So I really think the defense did a great job. I still don't like the approach that we take with, it's kind of like that Don Brown, Michigan, a lot of pressure on our DBs.
Yeah.
Not a Don Brown, but my point is, like, it'd be 3rd and 12 and that just leads to illegal contacts. And it's just like,
Yeah.
back up, man. And so
Yeah.
anyway, I don't like a couple things, but I got to give props to our defense in this game. I ultimately thought they played well. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought we played well. I think the only thing that I would have, just a small adjustment that I would have tried to change a little bit is I wouldn't have Pascal as the edge when he's running. I would do my best to have like Barnes or Campbell or somebody like that on the outside making the decision because they can run a little bit better sideline to sideline with Fields. So I think I would have played it that way a little bit more, because I thought Pascal played it as well as he possibly could, but there were times it's just not fair. Like,
No.
Fields' running ability is insanity. Like, I mean, he is shockingly good, but this is what I was saying before. This is the only way Justin Fields is a good quarterback at this point in his development in the NFL. He has to run the ball 15 or more times a game.
Has to. And
It won't work. I will admit, I was thinking the whole game, like, of course, we get one of the games that he's healthy enough to run the ball 20 times.
yeah, and
But
that
come
was
on.
the game was when they had the ball with 2 minutes to go, and we just scored, and we're looking for the stop, and they just hand it off, and it's like, just that's where, if you're a Bears fan, it's like, all right, Fields, you're running this 3 times, and we're gonna make something happen, some jet motion. But it feels like, absolutely, don't even. That's all he can do, and it's great. I say all he can do, but he's amazing at it. Do it, but they're caught in between of like, no, we don't want to use. So anyway, thankful for them not to do that. But let me ask you this, Craig.
Okay.
How good, amazingly good, is Brian Branch?
Wow. So outside of the 2 penalties, which one of them was real, one of them was not, he's everywhere. Like, he is all over the field. And I think what continually amazes me about Brian Branch is his ability to be a sure tackler. Like,
yes,
one of the major problems with our defense, and I think you're right, I think our defense played about as well as it could based on what position they were put in. Sometimes an offense is so multiple, it just hurts, right? And so, like, I thought we played about as well as we could, but Brian Branch is one of the only players, because what we were struggling with was we'd get our hands on players, but we couldn't get them down. They were always falling forward, getting an extra 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. When Branch got his hands on running backs, whether it was in the backfield, whether it was 5 yards downfield, done. That's it.
Brings them
no
down.
more yards. You'd think he was a 247-pound middle linebacker.
Yes.
He's not. And that, I think, is what is absolutely amazing.
That you nailed it. It's not only that he gets in, makes plays, jukes, jives to like as a running back almost to get in there, but then he brings him down. Just like tackle.
Yep. Thank you.
What did you think of Man, Jared Goff, right? Just not having a good game. It's like ups and downs, and that dude's just a baller, like a
Yeah.
baller. We all know, or maybe have been around. Maybe one of those guys is just like, man, just a gamer. What did you think of Goff?
Is that how anybody would describe Jared Goff in the past?
Right?
Is a gamer? Or would people describe Jared Goff of 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago? Would they describe him more as like a guy who just can't quite get it done? And then on this day, he had one of his worst days as a Lion. Just bad interceptions. Those
Yep.
were all very bad, and it should have been a fourth, by the way. That one that he had Laporta deep on the back of the end zone, but he made the wrong read, went to Gibbs in the flat, and that should have been a pick six. But when we were right by the end zone, but then the 2-minute drive at the end of the half, and then both of
Yes.
them at the end of the game, dude, like you said, is a gamer. We needed him for those 3 drives, and he was like, "I'll be perfect if you want," and he was for those 3 drives. Isn't it amazing how this video, this live, could have either been Jared Goff lost us this football game,
Yeah.
or hey, Jared Goff just won this football game.
Dude, you nailed it. Is he should have had another couple picks, one was tipped. There was some weird stuff, plus his fault, plus, and next thing you know, it's four turnovers, not all his, the other fumble. But anyway, that pick six should have absolutely been there at the goal line, and that would have made it 14-0. I mean, gee whiz. So anyway, love seeing him when he has to be good. He's like, all right, I got it.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, sure, I got it.
Yes.
So calm. And Stink, the announcer, right? It was Schlereth, right? And so he's sitting there and he's talking about the same thing. He's like, look at Jared Goff. And he's just talking about how, like, no, he should not have like been that cool and calm under pressure. That is, to be able to flip the switch like that is absolutely remarkable. I'm
just pulling up the standings here.
Great.
So you've got the Vikings tonight, which feels like they're due for a letdown. Just generally, they've been riding high. They won 7 in a row or whatever, like 5 in a row.
Yeah, and I mean they are they? Yeah, they're in Denver, right? So night game in Denver. Denver's won like 3 in a row or something like that. That place is going to be going nuts at Mile High. That's a tough game.
Yes, and so I'm just feeling. This is cool. Just cool to look at these standings. I mean, we're 4-1 at home, 4-1 away. We've won 3 in a row since that thrashing at Baltimore.
Since the thrashing.
And that's the only game the Lions have been just beat. I mean, obviously lost to the Seahawks, but it's just we're a good team. We're a good team, and you said it best. And I asked you this, and I'll ask you again. As our defense as a whole, you can take this game out or not, but when you look at our defense, what are they? Because part of me, I want to believe they're good. I want to believe, actually, they're terrible. They're really good. How can you explain our defense?
Our defense is nothing spectacular, right? Nothing spectacular, but has the ability to be good enough to win a game. Our defense, I hated it for most of the day, but when you look at the overall body of work, they had 40 minutes time of possession, the Bears. And part of that is because our defense couldn't get off the field. So that's the nothing spectacular, right?
Right.
But at the same time, 4 turnovers. They were put in a difficult position 4 different times. And so when you say, look at our defense, what are they? Well, they're gamers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not unbelievably healthy or anything like that right now. They're missing people. They should have been tired on the inside without Bugs. And Bohanna looked pretty good, by the way. But like, I don't know what to say about our defense because I'm not confident in them, but I also know they're better than my brain tells me they are.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I just think it's so strange because when they're good, they're historically good. A couple against the Raiders, against the Panthers, against the Falcons. I mean, they're giving up under 200 total yards offense. six,
Yeah.
7 sacks, and it's just like, are we? They're not that good, are we? And then you start
Yeah.
automatically just go to, well, that team must be terrible, and we're good, or you're just trying to figure that out. Then when we're bad, and Lamar Jackson is just playing silly games with us, and you're like, we're terrible. And then the
Yeah.
Seahawks are up and down the field. So my you said this
This
to
is
me.
this is 4 games where teams went up and down the field against us.
Yeah,
It
but
is 4 games. We've won 2 of them. We've lost 2 of them.
but that's okay, as long
Every once in a while.
not okay, but that seems about right that teams would do that. But you said it, Aaron Glenn. You told me this before. Aaron Glenn either feels like he's got your number, and
Yeah.
boy, he's set up, or he just does not.
Or you have his.
There, you have his. Let me throw a couple names at you, and let's do a rapid fire here. Aleem McNeil.
Thank you.
Thoughts on him?
Yeah, thank you. I don't think like he is that disruptive top 5 defensive tackle yet. But he's definitely a top 15 type of guy that has been solid all year. He makes plays. He's a
Okay.
playmaker from the defensive tackle position, which is unique.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Thank you. Jahmyr Gibbs. The only thing I can think of when I think of Jahmyr Gibbs is this is exactly what we hoped he would be. He's a guy, he had 6 catches, 60 yards today. He had 8 carries for 36 yards. He breaks tackles at a greater rate. He is as fast as his film looked like he was. He is the thing that makes this offense so dangerous. The big playability of him. And I got a name for you.
Yeah.
You ready for it? Jameson Williams. What do you think about him today?
So happy to see him get in the end zone. He's scored a couple times where it's got called back last year against Green Bay, and then last week. And you're just like, I've been saying it since we drafted him, or since he started getting in trouble, or weird things started happening. Man, if this guy gets in the flow, scores some touchdowns, gets his hands on the ball, gets some reverses, he's going to be in the game planning, get healthy. So to just a confidence booster to see him out there. But what a play call. And that is why, again, when we drafted him, this is what you thought. You had Amon-Ra go out, the safety caught his attention, and Jameson over the top before this. You could even, think twice. And that's a 30-yard, 35-yard touchdown pass to flip the game, because had we had to go down and, just slug away at trying to score there, we're down 2 touchdowns. That changes the game if we score under 2 minutes. But instead, we know there's 3 minutes to go. And that's just Jameson, Jahmyr. They change our entire offense. Love it.
Here's the way I look at Jameson and Jahmyr. Because of them, it's okay that Jared Goff has no mobility.
Yes.
And I'm not saying no mobility. So not like he's Scott Mitchell back there. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay because the big plays and the guys that can wreak havoc in space, you have a wide receiver who can do it, and you have a running back who can do it. And by the way, so can St. Brown, but he's just not as fast as Jameson. He's not that over the top threat. So I just think it makes this offense so much more. It's so much better. Well, the ceiling is so high with this offense with those guys.
And that's what's amazing. And again, we talk about Brad Holmes, but there's all the time, because there's reason to. In just a couple years, the weapons on this team the weapons Brad Holmes' first year. Remember, we had Perriman. I'm trying to think of even the names of these guys that we were just
They're out of the league, man.
Out of the league. And now
I'm trying to think of the guy's name. You're right. It was from Oakland.
Perriman from Oakland. Help us.
I don't even remember his name. It was awful. It wasn't until we got Josh Reynolds in week 7
that we were like, hey, we got a receiver. And now we've got St. Brown, Reynolds. I don't need to name them all off. I will. Laporta, Jameson, two good running backs, 2 really good running backs. Again, and Jahmyr Gibbs is what we thought Swift would be. And remember, that's why we took Gibbs, is because, there is a different burst there. He looks different out there. And
he does.
And when you're on a professional sports team against other professionals and you look different, that's a good thing. So love to see this, man.
Can I go back to the defense for a second?
Yes.
Dan Campbell had a quote where he talked about the defense after the game last week, where we gave up a lot against the Chargers. Our defense looked terrible. And he said, even if the play call isn't right, guys need to stick to their assignment. Like
Yes.
they need to play sound assignment football. And I feel like in this game, Aaron Glenn didn't call a great game defensively, but they stuck with the assignment. And what ended up happening was a defense that still was not good. It was leaking all game,
Mm-hmm.
but it was better. Like it was good enough to win, if that makes sense. And it was good enough to win when giving them 4 extra opportunities.
Oh my
You,
gosh.
you don't, Chris, this is your thing. Let me tell you this. I don't care if it's against the Bears, but I'm just going to give you a couple of things here. Justin Fields runs for 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jared Goff throws 3 interceptions. We also lose a fumble. So 4 turnovers, Fields rushes for 100 yards. DJ Moore has almost 100 yards receiving with a touchdown. How many times out of 10 are we winning that game?
Oh my gosh. 1.
Apparently. How many
And we
times out
did
of
it.
100 are we winning that game?
Right. 3. And we no, I love I'm not a big analytics guy, but there's certain I cherry pick the analytics that I like and like,
Yeah,
oh, this
you do.
stat or this thing works. And turnovers are just massively weighted so big. And so
Huge.
when you can, so the turnovers are one thing, but so there's just normal play turnovers. And then I think, and I'm making this up, I don't know this, but like the kick return turnover, huge, because your offense doesn't even touch the ball. So it's just like, here, you take the ball again. And then there's the pick six and the scoop and score, the absolute worst. But we give up that kick return one. So yeah, we're just -3, I think, total on the turnovers. But again,
Correct.
the Lions, when we took the ball away, went down, scored a touchdown. The Bears aren't, at the end of the day, a good team. And but so I always hate saying that because it's like you got to go play these guys. But my point is this: the Bears had chances to bury us, and we held them to field goals.
Yes.
Yeah, bear it. But we gave up. We just held them to field goals, kept us in it, and it paid off at the very end, obviously.
Okay, I got a couple things. I think technically it is -3. You're right. I think it's closer to -2 because the strip sack ended in a safety. So that's not actually counted as a lost fumble, by the way, which is really interesting.
Beautiful.
To me. I started this off talking about all my buddies. So Chris, this is for you, but everybody on the comment thread, this is for you too. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're a little over 20 minutes into this live session. We still got over 300 people here. Who's that Bears fan that you just want to say hi to? Who do you just want to say hi to and be like, hey, we beat you.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, remember Kelvin Johnson's catch? That wasn't a catch.
Never forget that.
Never forget. I don't think the Bears fans are going to forget this one.
And let us know in the comments too. Who's your most hated opponent? And
say hi to one Bears fan, and then give us your most hated team.
Say hey.
So Chris, is there anybody you want to talk to?
Well, probably just Cal, just to be like,
I said his name earlier.
The Bears they're not good, and the Lions are, and it's just so good to see because I was ready to chalk it up as a loss, as a lot of us was just like, shoot, dang it. And then to pull this out, though, to win, you take wins when you can get them. So, yep, that's the one. You'd say hi to Cal, and you'd say, and I hate the Bears mostly. Out of all the teams, I just struggle with them. How about you?
Yeah, so I already said hi to a couple people. Sports Talk Fantasy, one of our channels, is Sean, and he's a Bears fan. So if you like fantasy football, feel free to follow the channel. It's good fantasy football advice. But man, oh man, is he misled with his fandom as a Bears fan?
Yeah. The logo, the colors, because I think it's because it's Chicago versus Detroit, not the cities, right? And it's just like, oh, Chicago's this great. Is it? I mean, I get it, but it's like Detroit's don't say nice things about Detroit.
Hey, talk to me nice, right? And besides, we're pulling a whole state.
Yes,
right. So it's not like the Detroit Lions are just the city of Detroit. They're Michigan, baby.
Yeah,
Like,
Michigan. They should
we
be
got the
called the
whole
Michigan
state.
Lions.
You
Yes.
know, we're recording this from the west side.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, and we've grown up like we are native Detroiters because we love the Lions so much. And really, when you think about it, the rest of the state of Illinois, what does it offer?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
nothing. Corn? Like, I
Corn.
don't know.
No
Like,
one
I'm
talks
out.
about Southern Illinois. Right. Right.
Yeah, Southern Illinois, it gets worse. Michigan, Northern Michigan's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I mean,
Beautiful. More. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
I
The
like
team I
this.
hate most
Yeah. Yeah.
in watching this game, because it's hard for me because there's some teams I just flat out don't like, but I think I really dislike the Bears. I think it has to be the Bears. And the Vikings aren't far behind. They're really not. And I think it's kind of been the Vikings because the Vikings are the team that, even though they've never had the steadiness at quarterback like the Packers, they keep winning, and it really bothers me.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, it really bothers me. Jared Allen really bothers me, and it's about time that we have a good pass rusher. And okay, can we
Yeah.
flip to something else entirely?
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson has almost disappeared for like 5 games.
Yeah.
What good timing.
Thank you, Aiden. And yeah, it's interesting because we want to blame it on the other pass rushers, right? Natural. It's like, well, Aiden's great, but he's getting double teamed and all this. And it's like, well, not
Yep.
no. I mean, he's not getting double teamed every play. I believe he got injured during that interception that he had a while back, where he got drilled in his leg and somehow didn't break his leg. I felt like maybe it slowed him down a little bit.
Oh no, he admitted it jacked up his hip.
Okay, against the Panthers. He was
Yeah.
just off. So I think he's healthy. I think that was huge. Awesome way to end it because, hey, they only needed a field goal. They were on the 25, and they have a great kicker. They only needed, they didn't need that far to get them into overtime, and you never know. So what a way to end it.
What a way to end it. I mean, seriously. Okay, so let's take a moment here at the 27-minute mark, right? And let's look to the future. Can we do this?
Let's do it.
So we're playing again in 5 days.
Oh, let's go.
Right? Thanksgiving. We got the Green Bay Packers. And do you know what the Packers did today, Chris? Have you paid attention?
Did they win?
They beat the Chargers.
Okay.
So what the heck's going on there? All right. Sports Talk Wisconsin, another shameless plug for one of our channels.
Yep.
Right. But like, I'm telling you, man, like they beat the Chargers in a tough game. I think it was 23-20. So both teams are kind of coming off that emotional, difficult game. And now we're going to be right back in 5 days going against a Packers team that has a little bit of life to them. What are your thoughts on that game coming up against the Packers? Is it anything to worry about or not so much?
Yeah, I think this was the game, a perfect game, right? You get challenged, you get down, you get problems, you have to come back, and you get the win. Is such a wake-up call this game was.
Yeah.
So now I think you go Thanksgiving at Ford Field, and I've always said this, man, I just want to have a meaningful Thanksgiving game. Like that's just all throughout those years when we were 1-7, 2-8 or whatever. This is more than meaningful. This is so real. Hopefully everyone's healthy. All the important players are healthy, right? We didn't lose anybody this game.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of, but like Goff, it seems to be healthy.
Yes.
But my point is everything's in line for us still, and we have meaningful games. And so what's cool is you get to see this year's version of, you get to see Ford Field on Thanksgiving rooting on an 8-2 team. I just think the atmosphere is just going to be too big. The storylines, the national, you got Romo probably coming in for this, or who, the CBS call or whoever's coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Fox or CBS. Great.
It's probably Fox because it's two NFC teams, but I don't know. But the point is, the atmosphere is just going to be too much for the Packers to overcome. And it seems like we have the Packers number. Aaron Glenn has it fits because Jordan Love's not too mobile enough. Okay. So it's like, I just feel good about this one. How about you?
Yeah. So I feel good about it because I feel like, I know this sounds weird, but I honestly think the Bears are a better football team than the Packers. I think Justin Fields is better than Jordan Love.
Yep.
I think the weapons that the Bears have on the outside are better than the weapons that the Packers have on the outside. The
Yes.
Packers have a better defense. But I think the Packers offense is a little easier to stop. However, I will say this. Green Bay, Jordan Love was 27 of 40 today for 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But like you were saying, he's not that mobile, 3 carries, 0 yards. So they didn't need to use him in that way. But he spread the ball around. I mean, if I'm counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different players caught a pass. So like it was one of those, they were in all their feels with spreading the ball around. And so am I as worried about it? No, I was actually more worried about this Bears game than I am about the Packers game coming up.
Okay. I love
That's
it.
where that's where I'm at with it.
That's
I just
you
don't
make
think
two
they
great
have the weapons.
You make great point. You start mirroring those two teams, and it's like, man, the Bears are really the better team, and defensively too. The Bears have a couple more weapons there. I don't know. It's. I just feel this was a game that we needed, and I was ready to just lose, like a sacrificial loss, to be like, all right, wake up call. Hopefully, let's get it over now, and hopefully,
let's hope it's not next week.
Right now, it's like we kind of got to feel that, like, oh dang. We can lose any week.
And don't you think that this team has started to prove by now that they don't actually need to get a loss in order to have a wake-up call?
Yeah.
Like I've seen that from them over and over again, where it's like, all right, I remember at the back half of last year, all right, this is the game the Lions will lose. And they didn't lose it. And going into this year, it's like, oh, this is a tough one. Like this is a game where they prove they're legit and they're contenders, and they just keep winning those games. And I think, and my hope is that you get a Minnesota Vikings loss to the Broncos. Should I plug another sports talk channel, Sports Talk Denver? I promise that's all we have, right? It's just those. But like, check it out. But like, I hope the Broncos get a victory over the Vikings. They're 7-4. And we know with a win, we can get ourselves to 9-2 and just absolutely, or I'm sorry, they'd be 6-5. We can get to 9-2 and just get an absolute stranglehold on this division. Like it's a very meaningful game for us.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And let's pull up just so you can see, we keep kind of winning, and it makes this so much better. So let me pull up the schedule really quick, just to so you,
please.
Exact point. We get right here. Look at these two games, and this is the NFL. I mean, this is a coin flip. End up being a coin flip. We find a way. This one we shouldn't have won.
Nope.
We win. So we could have easily lost. Not easily, but that's how the NFL works. And then, so to your point, Packers. Boy, and again too, Craig, on a short week, weird things happen. So
they do.
Let's go here, Saints, and then you go on the road, and the Bears they're just tough. Well, obviously, just proved it. They're going to get turnovers. They're gonna be a tough team to stop with Justin Fields. At some point, they're just going to be like, all right, Justin, we're going to play college ball, and you're just going to run read options, and you're just going to do design.
And that's what they did today.
Yeah. Until the last drive, when they're just like, you know what?
We don't need to do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What's an RPO?
Yes, my gosh. Thank you.
They had timeouts.
Oh.
Like, why don't you run that when you have timeouts?
Unbelievable. Yep. So yeah, you see the schedule. Sean. We're good. We're in good shape. I love it. Anything else?
Well, yeah, I think can you go back up just a little bit to the last 4 games that we played? There was not one of those games. I would make the argument that the closest was this game, but not one of those games was the offense and defense playing complementary football to the other. And so obviously the offense and defense both sucked against the Ravens. The offense was great against the Raiders, just not at getting in the end zone. So like not super complimentary. It's just we were playing a Raiders team that was its final death blow. They were on their last leg. Chargers, the defense was terrible. And against the Bears, our offense put our defense in a horrible position, and we were 3-1. 3-1 when we were not playing good complementary football. That's unbelievable to me. That's the kind of stuff that the Steelers do. That's the kind of stuff that the Ravens do. That's the kind of stuff that these teams that find themselves in the playoffs every single year do.
And to that, wasn't it fitting that Jared Goff, our guy on offense, played the best those final 2 drives, and then on defense, our guy Aiden Hutchinson, just our linchpin guys that we gotta have making the plays to end the game, and there it was.
And there it was. It's fun. It's good stuff.
Love it. Well, we'll probably end it here. I mean, just want to jump on 35 minutes of hanging out. We appreciate everybody. More videos to come on this victory. And like Craig said, we got other channels. Check those out. But we also have, we're on Twitter, X. Hit us up there. Hit us up.
Sports
Twitter.
Talk Extra is the one that we didn't promote. That's our second channel.
Yes.
Sports Talk Extra. You should check that out.
Sports Talk Extra, if you're a fan of
the NFL,
of other teams, or if you just want to check out more things, Sports Talk Extra. Love it. Yeah, Craig, this was, man, I want to say that I don't get too, that the Lions don't impact my day. You know, that.
But you were cranky all afternoon, weren't you?
Yep. Kids are, I don't know, you can't see it, but we had some stuff set up for the kids to just kind of play. Of course, they're spilling things.
Yeah.
But
trying to watch the game.
Yeah. Then the game turns around. I'm just like, oh, it's fine. That's fine.
You do whatever you want.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So
I'll get it later.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great.
Yeah. So more videos coming on this channel, Sports Talk Extra, later today. Check it out. Craig, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you on the mini videos this week.
See ya.
See ya.